Jack Morrison pressed his face against the cold glass of the observation deck. Below him, Earth spun slowly in the darkness of space. The blue and green planet looked so peaceful from up here. No wars, no hunger, no pain. Just a beautiful marble. Floating in the void, he had been living on the space station Meridian for 3 years now. It was his home, his lab, and his prison all at once. Jack was the best scientist Earth had when it came to studying alien life. Everyone knew his name. Other planets knew his name too. The door behind him opened with a soft hiss. Jack did not turn around. He knew who it was before the visitor spoke. "Dr. Morrison," came the strange voice. It sounded like wind blowing through metal pipes. "I hope you are well today." Jack finally turned to face Ambassador Vexthel. The alien was tall and thin, with silver skin that seemed to shine in the station's lights. His eyes were black and large, like deep pools of oil. When he spoke, his mouth barely moved. "I am fine, Ambassador," Jack said. "What brings you to my lab today? I come with good news." "Very good news indeed." The Zephyrian moved closer. His long fingers touched the glass where Jack had been standing. "My people have been watching you work. We are impressed." Jack had heard this before. The Zephyrians had been visiting the station for months. They always said nice things about his work. They brought gifts, small devices that could do amazing things, medicine that could heal any wound, food that tasted better than anything on Earth. "We want to offer you something special," Vexthel continued, "something that will change your life forever." "What kind of offer?" Jack asked, though he already felt worried. The ambassador reached into his robe and pulled out a small crystal device. When he touched it, images filled the air between them. Jack saw massive cities floating in space. He saw forests with trees that grew to the clouds. He saw oceans that sparkled like diamonds. "This is Zephyros Prime," Vexthel said, "the heart of our empire. 200 worlds bow to our wisdom. We have technology that your people cannot even dream of. We have medicine that can make you live forever. We have knowledge that spans the galaxy." Jack watched the images dance in the air. It was beautiful. It was everything a scientist could want. But something felt wrong. "Why are you showing me this?" Jack asked. "Because we want you to join us," the ambassador said. His black eyes seemed to glow. "We want you to be our chief science advisor. You would have access to all our knowledge, all our technology, all our power." Jack felt his heart skip. Chief science advisor to an empire of 200 worlds. It was the dream of every scientist who had ever lived. "The pay would be good, I assume," Jack said, trying to keep his voice steady. Vexthel laughed. It sounded like breaking glass. "Pay? Dr. Morrison, you think too small. We offer you riches beyond counting. Rare metals that would make your Earth wealthy for 1,000 years. Crystals that can power entire cities. Knowledge that would advance your species by millions of years." The images changed. Now Jack saw mountains of gold and silver. He saw gems the size of buildings. He saw machines that could create anything from nothing. "And for you personally," the ambassador continued, "we offer immortality. You would never age, never die, never know sickness or pain. You would be a god among your people." Jack stared at the images. Everything he was seeing was real. He could feel it in his bones. The Zephyrians were not lying. They really could give him all of this. "What would I have to do?" he asked. "Simply come with us. Leave this small station. Leave this small planet. Come to the center of the galaxy, where you belong. Your talents are wasted here." Jack felt dizzy. The offer was too good to be true. And in his experience, things that were too good to be true usually were. "I need time to think," he said. The ambassador's expression did not change, but Jack felt the temperature in the room drop. "Time, Dr. Morrison, this offer will not last forever. My government is changing. New leaders are coming to power. They may not be as generous as we are." "How long do I have?" Jack asked. 3 days, no more." Vexthel touched the crystal device again, and the images disappeared. "Dr. Morrison, I must tell you something important. You are special, your mind is unique, but you are also in danger." "What kind of danger?" There are those in the galaxy who fear your species. They think humans are growing too fast, too strong, too smart. They want to stop you before you become a threat. Jack felt ice in his veins. Are you threatening me? No, Vexel said quickly. We are trying to save you. If you come with us, you will be safe, protected, your knowledge will be preserved. But if you stay... The ambassador let the words hang in the air like a sword. After Vexel left, Jack sat alone in his lab for a long time. The space station hummed around him. Through the walls, he could hear the sounds of people working. Scientists from Earth, all working to understand the galaxy they had found themselves in. His door chimed. Come in, he called. Dr. Lisa Parker entered. She was his oldest friend on the station. They had worked together for 5 years ever since first contact with the aliens. She was smart, careful, and always asked the right questions. You look like someone just offered to buy your soul, she said, sitting down across from him. Something like that, Jack replied. He told her about the ambassador's visit, about the offer, about the warning. Lisa listened without speaking. When he finished, she was quiet for a long time. It sounds too good to be true, she finally said. That's what I thought. Jack, I've been studying the Zephyrians for months. They're not evil, but they're not saints either. They don't give away their technology for free. Ever. What do you think they really want? Lisa pulled out her tablet and showed him her research. Look at this. I've been tracking their expansion over the last 1,000 years. Every time they find a new species, they do the same thing. First, they make friends, then they make offers. Then they make demands. Jack studied the data. The pattern was clear. The Zephyrians would approach a developing civilization and offer help. They would recruit the best and brightest. Then slowly they would take control. What happened to the people they recruited? Jack asked. They disappear into the empire. Some become officials, some become researchers, but they never go home. They never contact their families. It's like they stopped being who they were. Jack felt sick. So you think this is a trap? I think it's more complicated than that. I think they really do want to help you. But I also think they want to help themselves more. That night, Jack could not sleep. He kept thinking about the offer, about the riches, about the knowledge, about living forever. It was everything he had ever wanted, but he also thought about Earth, about his family, about the people who depended on him, about the future of humanity. He thought about the warning, about the danger that Vexel had mentioned. Were humans really in trouble? Were there aliens out there who wanted to destroy them? Jack got up and walked to the observation deck. Earth was still there, still spinning, still beautiful, but now it looked fragile, small, vulnerable. He had 3 days to decide. 3 days to choose between everything he had ever dreamed of and everything he had ever loved. The choice would change not just his life, but the fate of every human who had ever lived. Jack Morrison stood at the window and watched his home world turn in the darkness. Soon he would have to choose between the stars and the soil, between gold and loyalty. Between himself and his species, the clock was ticking. Jack Morrison woke up to the sound of his door chiming. He had only slept for 3 hours, but his mind was too busy to rest. The Zephyrian offer kept spinning in his head like a broken record. He opened the door to find Agent Sam Rodriguez standing. In the hallway, Sam was not supposed to be on the station. He worked for Earth Defense Command, the secret organization that watched for alien threats. If Sam was here, something was very wrong. We need to talk, Sam said quietly. Not here. Meet me in Storage Bay 7 in 10 minutes. Jack felt his stomach drop. Storage Bay 7 was empty and far from the main areas of the station. It was where people went when they did not want to be overheard. 10 minutes later, Jack found Sam, waiting in the dark bay. The agent was a small man with sharp eyes and gray hair. He looked tired, like he had not slept in days. Jack, you're in trouble, Sam said without greeting. Big trouble. What do you mean? Sam pulled out a small device and pressed a button. The air around them shimmered slightly. Signal blocker, he explained. Now we can talk safely. He handed Jack a tablet. On the screen were lines of text in a strange alien language. Below it was a translation in English. "We intercepted this message 2 days ago," Sam said. "It's from the Zephyrian homeworld to their ship in our solar system." Jack read the translation. His blood turned to ice. Target Morrison shows promise. For recruitment. Essential to remove him before Earth develops quantum defense systems. His knowledge of human biology and psychology will be valuable during integration phase. Integration phase? Jack asked. "Keep reading." Jack's hands shook as he continued. The message talked about human weaknesses, about the best ways to conquer Earth, about how taking away Earth's best scientists would make the planet easier to control. "They're not trying to help me," Jack whispered. "They're trying to steal me. It gets worse," Sam said. He swiped to the next page. "We've been tracking similar operations across the galaxy. The Zephyrians have done this before, many times." The tablet showed a list of planets and names, dozens of worlds, hundreds of scientists, leaders, and inventors, all recruited by the Zephyrians, all disappeared into their empire. What happened to their home planets? Jack asked, though he already knew the answer would be bad. "Look at this." Sam showed him another screen. It was a map of the galaxy with red dots marking conquered worlds. Every single planet on that list is now part of the Zephyrian Empire. They call it peaceful integration. We call it conquest. Jack sat down heavily on a storage crate. "So if I accept their offer, you'd be helping them destroy Earth. They want you to tell them everything about human defenses, human psychology, human weaknesses. They want to use your knowledge to make conquest easier. And if I refuse?" Sam's expression grew darker. "Then they'll find another way." Jack. "The Zephyrians aren't the only ones watching Earth. We've detected at least 3 other alien civilizations monitoring our planet. They're all waiting to see what happens next." Jack felt the weight of the entire world on his shoulders. "What do you mean? Earth is advancing too fast. Our technology is growing too quickly. The aliens are scared of us. They want to stop us before we become a threat to their power." Sam pulled up another file. This one showed Earth's technological progress over the last 50 years. The curve was steep, almost vertical. "Look at this. We went from basic computers to quantum processing in 30 years. We went from chemical rockets to fusion drives in 20 years. We're developing faster than any species in galactic history. That's good, right?" Not from their perspective. There's something called the convergence. It's when multiple alien civilizations work together to eliminate a threat. The last time it happened was 800 years ago. They wiped out an entire species. Jack felt sick. And they're planning to do this to Earth? The intelligence isn't clear yet, but the signs are there. Increased alien activity in our solar system. Strange energy readings from deep space. And now this offer to you. I don't understand. How does recruiting me help them? Sam showed him one more file. This one was marked Top Secret in red letters. Because you're not just any scientist, Jack. You're the lead researcher on Project Prometheus. You know more about human biology, psychology, and social structure than anyone else on Earth. You've studied every alien species we've encountered. You know their weaknesses and their strengths. Jack remembered Project Prometheus. It was Earth's most classified research program. The goal was to understand alien biology and develop defenses against possible threats. Jack had been chosen to lead it because of his unique insights into how different species thought and behaved. If the Zephyrians get that information, Sam continued, they'd know exactly how to defeat us. Exactly. And they'd know how to make it look like a peaceful surrender. No massive battles. No destruction. Just slow, careful control until Earth becomes another red dot on their map. Jack stood up and began pacing. So what do I do? If I refuse their offer, they might just invade anyway. Maybe, but if you accept, they definitely will. The question is whether Earth fights back or just gives up. There has to be another option. Sam smiled for the first time since the conversation began. There is, but it's dangerous. Tell me, we're not alone in this. There are other species who've refused Zephyrian offers. They've formed a secret alliance called the Free Worlds Coalition. They're small, scattered, but they're fighters. Jack felt a spark of hope. What do they want? To stop the Zephyrians from taking over the galaxy. To protect species like ours. From being absorbed or destroyed? They've been watching Earth for months, waiting to see if we're worth saving. And are we? That depends on what you do next. Sam handed Jack a small communication device. This connects you to the coalition. If you're interested in fighting back instead of running away, activate it, but be careful. The Zephyrians are watching everything. Jack took the device. It was warm to the touch and seemed to pulse with its own energy. What about my team? Jack asked. Dr. Parker and the others, are they safe? For now. But the Zephyrians are patient. If they can't get you, they'll try for the next best thing. Your colleagues, your research, your friends. They'll keep taking pieces until Earth has nothing left to defend itself with. Jack thought about Lisa and her warnings about the Zephyrians. About Ben Walsh and Mary Foster, two young scientists who looked up to him. About all the people on Earth who trusted him to keep them safe. How long do I have to decide? The Zephyrians gave you 3 days, but things are moving faster than they expected. Our deep space sensors are picking up energy signatures from multiple alien fleets. The convergence might be coming sooner than anyone thought. Sam started to leave, then turned back. Jack, I know this is overwhelming. But remember this, you're not just choosing for yourself. You're choosing for every human who's ever lived and every human who ever will live. The Zephyrians are offering you gold, but they're asking you to sell your entire species to get it. After Sam left, Jack sat alone in the storage bay for a long time. The communication device felt heavy in his hand. He thought about the intercepted messages, about the conquered worlds, about the convergence. He thought about Ambassador Vexthal and his promises of immortality and power. Now those promises felt like poison wrapped in gold paper. Jack activated his personal communicator and sent a message to Dr. Parker. Meet me in Lab 7. We need to talk. Bring Ben and Mary. It was time to tell his team the truth. It was time to prepare for war. It was time to choose between safety and freedom, between gold and loyalty, between surrender and the fight of their lives. The Zephyrians had made their offer. Now it was time for humanity to make its choice. Jack Morrison walked into Lab 7 to find his team already waiting. Dr. Lisa Parker sat at the main table, her tablet open and ready. Ben Walsh, a young engineer with bright eyes and messy hair, was checking the lab's security systems. Mary Foster, the team's biologist, was reviewing data files with a worried expression. Jack, you look terrible, Lisa said. What's going on? Jack activated the lab's privacy shields and sat down across from his team. These were the people he trusted most in the world. If anyone deserved to know the truth, it was them. I need to tell you something important, he began. Something that will change everything. For the next hour, Jack told them everything about Agent Rodriguez's visit, about the intercepted messages, about the convergence and the conquered worlds, about the Free Worlds Coalition and the choice that lay before them. When he finished, the lab was silent. Ben was the first to speak. So the Zephyrians want to steal you to help them conquer Earth? That's the basic idea, Jack replied. Mary leaned forward. And if you refuse, they might just invade anyway? It's possible, Lisa shook her head. This is insane. How can 300 people on a space station fight against an entire galactic empire? We can't, Jack said. But we might be able to warn Earth, give them time to prepare. Prepare for what? Ben asked. You said they have technology we can't even understand. Jack pulled out the communication device Sam had given him. This connects us to the coalition. Maybe they have ideas. Or maybe they're just as doomed as we are, Lisa said quietly. Before anyone could respond, the lab's door chimed. Jack looked at the security screen and felt his heart stop. Ambassador Vexthal stood outside with 2 other Zephyrians. They were not supposed to be in this section of the station. Dr. Morrison, came the ambassador's voice through the intercom. We must speak. It is urgent. Jack looked at his team. Mary was already hiding the coalition device in her coat. Ben was closing all the data files. Lisa was trying to look calm, but Jack could see the fear in her eyes. "Let me handle this," Jack said. He opened the door. "Ambassador," Jack said, trying to sound normal, "what brings you to our research lab?" Vexthel stepped inside, followed by the other two Zephyrians. They were larger than the ambassador, with darker skin and strange symbols on their robes. They looked like soldiers. "Dr. Morrison, we have received disturbing news from our home world," Vexthel said. His black eyes seemed to study everyone in the room. "The situation has changed. We must speak privately." "My team knows about your offer," Jack said. "We can talk here." "I insist," the ambassador said. The two soldiers moved closer to Jack's. Team. Jack felt a chill run down his spine. "Is that a threat?" "It is a necessity." Vexthel touched a device on his belt. Suddenly, the air in the lab felt thick and heavy. Jack's team began to look sleepy. "What are you doing to them?" Jack demanded, a mild sedative in gas form. "They will not be harmed, but they will sleep while we talk." Jack watched helplessly as his friends slumped in their chairs. Lisa tried to fight it, but her eyes closed and she fell forward onto the table. "You have gone too far," Jack said angrily. "No, Dr. Morrison, you have gone too far." Vexthel's voice was cold now. "We know about your meeting with the Earth spy. We know about the coalition device. We know about everything." Jack felt trapped. The Zephyrians had been watching him all along. "So what now?" Jack asked. "Now we tell you the truth." "The real truth." Vexthel gestured to one of his soldiers. The alien activated a device that filled the air with new images. Jack saw massive fleets of alien ships. Hundreds of them. Thousands. They were all heading toward Earth's solar system. "The convergence has begun," Vexthel said. 12 alien civilizations have united to deal with the human threat. They will arrive in your solar system in 6 days? 6 days? Jack felt the world spinning around him. "We tried to save you through peaceful means. We offered you wealth, power, immortality. But you have chosen to listen to rebels and terrorists. Instead, the Coalition are not terrorists. The Coalition are the reason the convergence is happening now instead of in several years. Their attacks on Zephyrian supply lines have forced our hand. The other civilizations believe we are too weak to control the human situation." Jack stared at the images. The fleet was enormous. Earth's defenses would be useless against it. "What do you want from me?" Jack asked. "We want you to come with us. Now, today, this moment, and if I refuse?" Vexthel's expression did not change. "Then you will die with your planet. But first, you will watch as your species is slowly and painfully destroyed. The other civilizations are not as merciful as we are." Jack looked at his sleeping team. At Lisa, who had warned him about trusting the Zephyrians. At Ben and Mary, who had their whole lives ahead of them. "What about my team?" "They can come too if you wish. We have use for skilled scientists. And Earth? Earth will be ... integrated. The surviving humans will be relocated to worlds where they can be properly supervised. It will be better than extinction." Jack felt sick. "You're talking about slavery. We are talking about survival. Your species has 2 choices, serve or die. We are offering you a chance to help your people serve well." The ambassador moved closer. "Dr. Morrison, you are an intelligent man. You understand the situation. Earth cannot win this war. Your people cannot defeat 12 civilizations working together. But if you help us, we can ensure that the integration is peaceful. Many humans will live. Many will even prosper. As slaves. As citizens of a greater empire, think of it as evolution. Your species will become part of something larger and more powerful." Jack thought about everything Sam had told him. About the conquered worlds. About the people who had accepted similar offers and disappeared into the Zephyrian Empire. "What guarantee do I have that you'll keep your word? You have our promise. The same promise you gave to the other species you conquered?" Vexthel's eyes flashed with anger. "Those species chose to resist. They chose pain over peace. You can choose differently." Jack looked at the device showing the approaching fleet. 6 days. In 6 days, Earth would be facing the greatest threat in human history. I need time to think, Jack said. There is no more time. Vexthel signaled to his soldiers. We are leaving this system in 2 hours. You will come with us or you will die here. 2 hours. The convergence fleet will arrive ahead of schedule. We must be gone before they get here, or they will assume we have been compromised. Jack felt the walls closing in around him. What about my team? Decide quickly. For them and for yourself. The ambassador turned to leave, then stopped. Dr. Morrison, I want you to understand something. This is not about revenge. This is not about conquest. This is about survival. The galaxy cannot allow another species to advance as quickly as yours has. It upsets the balance of power. So, you're going to destroy us for being successful? We are going to control you for being dangerous. There is a difference. After the Zephyrians left, Jack sat alone with his unconscious team. The sedative would wear off in an hour, but by then it might be too late. He pulled out the coalition device and activated it. A voice answered immediately. This is Commander Vale of the Free Worlds Coalition. Who is this? Dr. Jack Morrison. I need help. Dr. Morrison, we've been waiting for your call. What's your situation? Jack told him about the ultimatum, about the convergence fleet, about the 2-hour deadline. 6 days, Commander Vale said. Grimly, that's faster than we expected. But we're not giving up. Are you willing to fight? Jack looked at his team, at the station around him, at Earth spinning below. He thought about every human who had ever lived and every human who might never be born. Yes, he said, I'm willing to fight. Then listen carefully. We have a plan. Jack Morrison stood in the main docking bay of the space station. Around him, hundreds of people had gathered to watch what would happen next. News of the Zephyrian ultimatum had spread quickly through the station. Everyone knew that whatever Jack decided in the next few minutes would change everything. The Zephyrian ship sat in the center of the bay, sleek and silver like a giant knife. Ambassador Vexthel waited at the bottom of the boarding ramp with his 2 soldiers. They had been standing there for 30 minutes, waiting for Jack's answer. Dr. Lisa Parker stood beside Jack, along with Ben Walsh and Mary Foster. They had woken up from the sedative gas angry and determined. When Jack told them about the coalition's plan, they had immediately volunteered to help. Are you sure about this? Lisa whispered. No, Jack replied. But I'm sure about what happens if we don't try. Agent Sam Rodriguez was hidden somewhere in the crowd, along with a dozen other Earth Defense Command agents. They were ready to act when Jack gave the signal. Jack walked slowly toward the Zephyrian ship. Every step felt like it might be his. Last, the ambassador's black eyes watched him approach. Dr. Morrison, Vexthel said, have you made your decision? I have, Jack replied. He stopped 10 feet away from the alien. I want to thank you for your generous offer. Good, then you will come with us? Jack took a deep breath. No, I will not. The silence in the docking bay was complete. Even the air recycling system seemed to stop humming. I'm sorry? The ambassador said, as if he had not heard correctly. I said no. I will not accept your offer. I will not abandon my people. I will not help you conquer Earth. Vexthel's silver skin seemed to darken. Dr. Morrison, you do not understand what you are saying. I understand perfectly. You want me to betray my own species to save my own life. You want me to choose gold over loyalty. But I choose Earth, I choose humanity, I choose freedom. The ambassador stepped closer. Freedom? You choose death, Doctor? Morrison, death for yourself and death for your entire world. Maybe, Jack said. But if we're going to die, we'll die as free people. We won't live as your slaves. The crowd behind Jack began to murmur. Some people were scared, but others were nodding in agreement. Jack's words were spreading through the station like fire. This is foolish, Vexthel said. Your species cannot survive what is coming. The convergence fleet will destroy everything you have built. Your cities will burn. Your people will suffer, all because of your pride. Not pride, Jack replied. Principle. Some things are more important than survival. Some things are worth dying for. The ambassador looked around the docking bay at all the humans watching. And these people? Are you willing to let them die for your principles too? Jack turned to face the crowd. I can't make this choice for anyone else. Each person has to decide for themselves. But I believe that living as slaves is not really living at all. A voice called out from the crowd. We stand with you, Dr. Morrison. It was Ben Walsh. Other voices joined in. We choose freedom. Earth. Forever, no surrender. Vexthel watched the crowd with growing anger. You are making a terrible mistake. Maybe, Jack said, but it's our mistake to make. The ambassador touched a device on his belt. Suddenly the air filled with images again. But these were not beautiful cities or treasure. These were scenes of war, burning planets, destroyed cities, dead bodies floating in space. This is what happened to the last species that refused our offer, Vexthel said. The Altarians thought they could fight the convergence. Their world is now a dead rock circling a cold star. Jack felt sick looking at the images, but he did not back down. Then we'll have to fight better than they did. With what? Your primitive weapons, your small fleet? Dr. Morrison, the convergence has 12 civilizations. Thousands of ships, millions of soldiers. You have nothing. We have something you don't understand, Jack said. We have hope. Hope will not stop laser cannons. No, but it will give us a reason to find a way. Jack reached into his pocket and pulled out the coalition communication device. He held it up so everyone could see it. We're not alone in this fight, he announced to the crowd. There are other species who refuse to bow to empires. Other worlds that choose freedom over safety. They're called the Free Worlds Coalition, and they're coming to help us? Vexel's eyes widened. You contacted the rebels? I contacted people who believe in the same things we do. People who think every species has the right to be free. The ambassador stepped back toward his ship. Then you have signed your death warrant. The coalition cannot save you. They are few and weak. The convergence will crush them like insects. We'll see about that. Jack activated the coalition device. Commander Vale's voice echoed through the docking bay. This is the Free Worlds Coalition to all stations. Operation Defiance is now active. All human forces prepare for immediate evacuation. And defense protocols. The crowd erupted in cheers, but Jack felt a moment of doubt. What if they were all wrong? What if the coalition couldn't help? What if he had just condemned his entire species to death? But then he looked at Lisa and his team, at the faces in the crowd, at the determination in their eyes. These people were ready to fight for their freedom. They were ready to die as humans rather than live as slaves. Dr. Morrison, Vexthel said, this is your last chance. Come with us now, and we will protect you when the convergence arrives. No. Your friends then? Let them come. Save at least some of your people. Jack looked at Lisa, Ben, and Mary. They all shook their heads. We stay together, Lisa said. All of us. The ambassador's expression turned cold. Then you will all die together. He walked up the ramp of his ship, followed by his soldiers. At the top, he turned back one more time. Dr. Morrison, when your world is burning and your people are screaming, remember that you chose this. Remember that we offered you mercy and you threw it away. I'll remember that we chose to be free, Jack replied. The ramp closed with a hiss. The Zephyrian ship lifted off and glided out of the docking bay. Through the transparent walls, Jack watched it accelerate away from the station and disappear into the darkness. Immediately, the docking bay filled with activity. Agent Rodriguez appeared with his team, along with Captain Jake Collins from Earth Defense Command. Jack, what's the coalition's plan? Collins asked. Jack activated the communication device again. Commander Vale, we're ready to hear your strategy. Good, came the reply. First, we need to evacuate your research station. Everything you've learned about alien technology needs to be moved to Earth immediately. What about the people here? Anyone who wants to fight can come with us. Anyone who wants to stay can help defend Earth, but that station is too exposed. When the convergence arrives, it will be the first target. Jack looked around at the hundreds. Of people in the docking bay? Scientists, engineers, security guards, maintenance workers. All of them had families on Earth. All of them had lives they wanted to protect. How long do we have? He asked. The Convergence fleet will reach your solar system in 5 days. But coalition forces are already moving. We have allies you don't know about. Species that have been hiding, waiting for the right moment to strike back. Can we win? There was a pause. Dr. Morrison, I won't lie to you. The odds are not good. The Convergence is powerful and they've never been defeated. But they've never faced a united coalition of free worlds before. They've never faced humans before. Jack felt a spark of hope. What makes humans special? You tell me, Commander Vale replied. You just turned down immortality and unlimited wealth to fight for people you've never met. You chose almost certain death over guaranteed safety. Most species in the galaxy think that's insane. And you? We think it's exactly what the galaxy needs. Jack looked at his team, at the crowd, at Earth spinning below them. The Zephyrions were gone. The choice was made. There was no going back now. Then let's get to work, he said. We have a war to win. Jack Morrison stood on the bridge of the Earth defense ship Liberty, watching the darkness of space through the main window. 5 days had passed since he refused the Zephyrian offer. 5 days of frantic preparation, evacuation, and planning. Now the moment of truth had arrived. Contact on long-range sensors, announced Lieutenant Kelly Brooks from her station. Multiple signatures, very large. Captain Jake Collins moved to stand beside Jack. How many ships? Counting now, sir. 200. 300. Still climbing. Jack felt his stomach drop. The Convergence fleet was massive, just as the Zephyrians had promised. Through the window, he could see tiny points of light growing larger as the alien ships approached Earth's solar system. Final count, sir, Brooks said quietly. 1,200 ships. The bridge fell silent. 1,000 ships against Earth's small defense fleet of 50 vessels. It seemed impossible. Any word from the coalition? Collins asked Jack. Checked his communication device. Commander Vale had promised that coalition forces would arrive, but so far there was no sign of them. Nothing yet, Jack replied. Dr. Lisa Parker appeared at Jack's side. She had insisted on staying aboard the Liberty to help coordinate the defense. Jack, our quantum disruption fields are ready. Ben and Mary have installed them on every ship in the fleet. Will they work? Against Zephyrian weapons, yes. Against the other 11 civilizations, ... double quote. We'll find out. The past 5 days had been a blur of activity. Earth's best scientists had worked around the clock to prepare defenses based on everything they had learned about alien technology. The research from Jack's team had proven invaluable. Ben Walsh had developed new shield systems. Mary Foster had created weapons that could disrupt alien ship computers. Other teams had built communication networks that could not be jammed by alien technology, but everyone knew it might not be enough. Incoming transmission, Brooks announced. It's from the lead Convergence ship. Put it on screen, Collins ordered. The main display flickered to life, showing the bridge of an alien vessel. A creature that looked like a giant insect sat in the command chair. Its voice was high and clicking. Human vessels. This is Hive Commander Zektal of the Convergence fleet. You will surrender immediately and prepare to be boarded. Jack stepped forward. This is Dr. Jack Morrison representing Earth. We refuse your demand. Dr. Morrison, came another voice. Ambassador Vexthal appeared on screen beside the insect commander. You had your chance to avoid this. Now your world will pay the price for your foolishness. Maybe, Jack said. But we'll make you pay a price too. Vexthal laughed. With 50 ships against 1,200? Dr. Morrison, mathematics was never your weakness. Surely you can see how this ends. Numbers aren't everything, Jack replied. Sometimes the smaller force wins because they're fighting for something worth dying for. Pretty words. They will look good on your grave marker. The transmission ended. Around the bridge, Earth's defenders prepared for battle. Everyone knew the odds. Everyone knew they would probably die in the next few hours. But nobody suggested surrender. All ships, battle positions, Collins ordered into his communicator. Remember the plan. Hit and run. Make them pay for every inch. The Convergence fleet began to spread out as it approached Earth. Jack could see different types of ships, sleek Zephyrian vessels, massive blocky ships from the hegemony, smaller, faster craft from species he didn't recognize. They're moving to surround the planet, Collins observed. That's what we expected, Jack said. Are our people ready on the surface? Every major city has shield generators. Every military base has quantum disruptors. If any ships get through, they'll face resistance. Jack nodded. The plan was simple. Make the Convergence fight for every victory. Show them that conquering Earth would cost more than it was worth. Contact, Brooks shouted. New ships approaching. From the outer system, Jack felt his heart leap. Coalition forces? Unknown. They're not using any identification codes we recognize. Through the window, Jack saw new points of light appearing. Ships that looked different from anything in the Convergence fleet. Ships that moved with purpose toward the alien armada. The communication device in Jack's hand crackled to life. Dr. Morrison, this is Commander Vale. Sorry we're late to the party. Commander, how many ships do you have? See for yourself. More. And more coalition ships appeared. Small fighters, medium cruisers, large battleships. They came from every direction, surrounding the Convergence fleet just as the aliens had tried to surround Earth. Final count, Brooks said with amazement in her voice. 800 coalition ships. Sir, we're not alone anymore. The bridge erupted in cheers. The odds were still bad, but they were no longer impossible. Commander Vale's voice came through the device again. Dr. Morrison, your refusal of the Zephyrian offer has been broadcast across the galaxy. Dozens of species have joined our cause. The galaxy is tired of being ruled by fear. Jack felt tears in his eyes. What are your orders, Commander? Your orders, Dr. Morrison. This is your fight. We're here to support you. Jack looked around the bridge. At Collins and his crew, at Lisa and the other scientists. At all the people who had chosen to fight rather than surrender. All ships, Jack said into the communicator. This is Dr. Jack Morrison. Today we fight not just for Earth, but for every world that wants to be free. Today we show the galaxy that freedom is worth any price. The battle began with a flash of light as the first weapons fired. Coalition ships dove into the Convergence formation, their new weapons tearing through alien shields. Earth's defenders followed, their quantum disruptors causing Convergence ships to lose power and drift helplessly. The fighting was fierce. Ships exploded on both sides. Laser beams cut through space like deadly ribbons, but something unexpected happened. The Convergence fleet began to break apart. They're not used to fighting together, Lisa observed as she watched the tactical display. 12 different species with 12 different fighting styles. They're getting in each other's way. Jack nodded. The coalition has been training together for years. They know how to work as a team. As the battle continued, more surprising things happened. Some Convergence ships stopped fighting and began broadcasting surrender signals. Others turned and fled toward deep space. Multiple ships requesting permission to join the coalition, Brooks reported. Granted, Jack said immediately. Anyone who wants to fight for freedom is welcome. The tide of battle turned quickly after that. The Convergence fleet, designed to overwhelm a helpless planet, found itself fighting a coordinated resistance that used their own size against them. Coalition ships darted between the larger alien vessels, causing confusion and friendly fire incidents. Within 6 hours, it was over. The remaining Convergence ships retreated, limping away from Earth's solar system. The space around Earth was filled with wreckage, but most of it belonged to the invaders. Casualty report, Collins requested. 12 Earth ships lost. 43 coalition ships destroyed, but sir, the Convergence lost over 400 vessels. Jack couldn't believe it. They had won. Against impossible odds. Earth and its allies had defeated the largest invasion fleet in galactic history. Commander Vale's voice came through the device one final time. Dr. Morrison, congratulations, you've just changed the course of galactic history. We all did, Jack replied. Humans, coalition members, even the convergent species who switched sides. We all chose freedom together. 3 months later, Jack stood once again at an observation deck, but this time he was on the new coalition headquarters station orbiting Earth. Representatives from over 100 worlds worked together in the levels below him, building a new kind of galactic government based on cooperation. Instead of conquest, Ambassador Vextel had requested a meeting. He sat across from Jack now, looking older and more tired than before. I underestimated you, Dr. Morrison, the Zephyrian said. I offered you gold and power, but you already had something more valuable. What's that? The loyalty of others? When you chose Earth over gold, you inspired others to make the same choice. That inspiration spread across the galaxy like a virus. Jack smiled. A good virus. Indeed, the Zephyrian Empire is changing. Many of our people want to join your coalition. They want to try this thing you call freedom. The coalition welcomes all who come in peace. Vextel nodded. Perhaps there is wisdom in your way after all. As the ambassador left, Jack looked out at Earth spinning below. The planet was safe. The galaxy was changing. And it had all started with one simple choice: loyalty over gold, principle over profit, freedom over safety. Jack Morrison had refused to sell his species for any price. In doing so, he had bought something far more valuable than gold. He had bought hope for every world that dreamed of being free.